Hi, my name is Kelly and I'm your setup coach. I'm going to show you how to set up your Full Slate account. First, we're going to go to the Setup tab on the bottom left. The first section here is the Company section. You can put your name, phone number, email, location, country, time zone, currency. You can upload a logo and put a description and your business hours. So everything in the Company section here is going to show up on your Full Slate landing page. The landing page is where your clients can go to book appointments with you. So I'm just going to put a location here. And you can enable multiple locations. So I'm going to just do that example here just so you have an idea. So I'll just do 2 locations and then I'll go ahead and save it. So we're going to go to the next one over, services. I've already preloaded a couple services in here. So you can either click on them to edit them, or you can click add service to add another service. I'm going to choose this one. So this is the name of the service. I like to put the duration in the name of the service because they don't see the duration over here to the right, so they wouldn't know how long the appointment is unless you tell them here or in the description. To the right of that is a price. So you can put a price if you want to. You don't have to. If you're going to ask for payment at the time of booking, then you need to put a price. This is where we pull the price from. Or if you want to put 0, it'll show up as free. So over here to the right is the duration, 1H for 1 hour. If it was 30 minutes, it would be 30M. We click Setup, Cleanup. It puts a box on both sides of the duration. So the first box is Setup and the last box is Cleanup. I usually suggest just putting it at the end. So if you want to do 30 minutes in between each appointment, I would just put 30 minutes at the end here. That way it doesn't block out time at the beginning of your day. Split is for people that take appointments within other appointments. People like acupuncturists or hairstylists, if they want to take a client in between, they can. You would just click split. It puts a row of boxes here, but if you hover over each box, it tells you what you need to put in there. So the first one would be your setup time. Second one would be the length of the service, the length of the gap for the split, and then the length of the service with the first person when you go back and finish them. And then the last box is the cleanup time, if you choose to do all of those. Then we have for internal use only. So if you just want to use this internally, you don't want clients to be able to book with this service, then you can check this box. But I want to leave it unchecked because I want clients to be able to book the service. There's 2 boxes for the description, overview, and details. Overview shows up directly underneath the name of the service on the menu, and details shows up after they click on it. We'll go ahead and save that. If you are doing classes, you can click add a class. Name your class. It's just like the services where you put a price and the duration and set up cleanup if you need to. Max attendees, how many people can come. There's 2 ways to put this on the calendar. You can say scheduled by staff, which is usually what people do because they have their classes at a specific time, or chosen by students if you want the student to choose the time. And then I'll show you how to put this in the schedule when we get there. So we'll just go ahead and save that. So we do have add categories. This is for if you have a long list of services and you want to break it up into categories, or maybe your services are kind of different, so you want to make it into different category. So let's say I have this one category here. I just click and drag my services so they stick right underneath there. And then I just make my categories and click and drag. You can also click and drag your services in different order too if you want. So you can switch them around even after they're saved there. So let's go ahead and go to the next one over, staff, and we'll click on my name. So it has my name. To the right there is what services I perform. So if you have some staff members that perform certain services, you can just select them here. Or if you have someone that's a front desk person, you don't want people to schedule with them, you can choose no services. This is also where we manage the alerts. I have my email address here, and to the right is each appointment change. That means every time somebody books, cancels, or reschedules, you'll get an email. Below that is your SMS text message. So you can get an alert on your SMS on your phone. To the right is how often you want to receive an alert on your phone. If you don't want to get one every time, you can have it for the short notice appointments. Alert options. So this is for if you have other staff members. If you want to get an alert when they book an appointment for you, you can leave this unchecked, omit alerts for changes made by staff. And if you want to get an alert when clients book with the other staff members, you can say copy on alerts to other providers. And then since we are doing multiple locations, I have to choose a location and save it. And you'll have to actually add yourself twice here so you can have two different schedules for two different locations. And since I said copy on alerts to other providers, I don't need to put my email address in here, and I just can go ahead and save it. And we won't charge you extra for the extra schedule. Just let us know you're doing multiple locations, and we'll still keep you at the single staff rate. But if you're going to add another person in here, decide what services they perform, put in their email, and you can decide their access level. So yes with full access means they can be in the setup tab where we are right now. They'll be able to see the full client list. All the other options below this, they won't be able to be in the setup tab, and they won't be able to see your full client list. So we have yes to all schedules, or just yes to their own schedule, or those two options and cannot make changes. And then we do have the option of no here, just in case you don't want this person to access your account anymore. You can come in here and just say no, and they won't be able to access the account. Because if you remove them, it's also removing any appointments that's associated with that schedule. So you might not want to remove them right away. You can always come in here and just say no. So once I decide my access level, I click send invitation, and this will send them an invitation to access the account. Okay. There's also add categories in here. It's just for if you have a long list of providers and you want to make categories for them. We're going to go to the next one over booking details. First question, what contact information you want to require when a client books? I usually suggest the second one, both phone and email, so you can get both of those. What other information would you like to collect from clients when they book? So you add a field for each question. Like you can ask for their address, their birthday, how did you hear about us, notes. Opt-in is just a checkbox if you want them to opt into your newsletter. So when you're in your client tab, you'll be able to separate out the people that have opted in when you go to send them your newsletter. Promotion code is where you just ask for a code. It's just for your informational purposes. It doesn't take off for the price or anything. And then there's checkbox. That's where you ask a question and they check a box. Or multiple choice is where you ask a question and you provide the answers in a drop-down menu. And text is where you ask a question and they will type in the answer. So let's say I want to ask for an address and I want to ask for their birthday. If it's required, there's a box here. It means they have to answer the appointment in order to book. Ask the question in order to book the appointment. And then this is pretty self-explanatory, so I don't need to add instructions. Would you like clients to have the option of saving their login? They don't have to register in order to book the appointment, but this just gives them the option. So I would say yes here. Enter an optional message clients see prior to booking. This shows up right above where they fill out their name and email address. A lot of people put their cancellation policy here. So you can put your cancellation policy. Then there's an optional message they see after successfully booking. Right now it just says our standard message, but you can customize this message if you would like. So you can put that in here. What should clients see as the first step when booking? If it's just you, it's good to do the first one. They're going to select a service, and then it's actually just going to take them right to the calendar to choose a time. Or you can have them select by provider first, or have them select by provider, but allow them to specify no preference. And if you are doing that multiple locations, you want to require them to select a location first before entering the booking process. Should they enter an explanation when they cancel? That can be optional, required, or do not accept an explanation. And then if you schedule in other time zones, we have an option for that also, so it'll show the client's time zone. It'll convert it for them. The label for the button on the booking form is Schedule Appointment. Most people leave this the way it is, but you can customize that button if you'd like. The label for selected provider during booking is Staff. So this is going to show up right before your name on the booking form. A lot of people that do massage like to put therapist here. Totally up to you. Then we have some check marks at the bottom. Allow clients to like your business on Facebook after booking. Show provider just puts the provider's name on the booking form. Only allow them to select a single service when booking. So if you don't want them to choose 2 or more services for one single appointment, then you can check this box. At the end of the booking, it says, would you like to schedule another one like this one? This just gives you the option. And then if you choose to do our gift certificate feature, you can have them redeem their gift certificates online. And we're going to get to gift certificates at the end of this section. So we'll go up to the top and save our work, and we'll go to the next one over, booking rules. First question, how far in the future can clients book? It says 6 months out. Most people leave that the way it is. You can change it if you want. How far in advance must clients book? It says 1 hour. I don't know if that's enough time for you to get ready for an appointment. I have mine set at 12 hours, so I know what appointments I have in the morning before I go to bed. And then how much notice must clients give when changing or canceling? So whatever your cancellation policy is, most people do 1 day. And then you can automatically accept the appointments or review them first. It's best if you can automatically accept them, because then you don't have to go in and accept each one, and your client doesn't have to wait for your email. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to block off time, how to put in your personal events, put in your appointments, so you can go ahead and automatically accept them. But if you'd still like to review them, we do have that option. How do you want openings presented to clients on your landing page? They can see a weekly calendar and arrow through each week, or they can see openings on a monthly calendar, or only search for a few openings at a time if you don't want them to see how wide open your schedule is. I like the weekly one, so I always choose that one. And you can choose different ones, see how it looks on your website or on the web tab, and come back here and change it to the other one. In fact, all of these settings can be changed, and it will automatically update on your website or your landing page. How do you prefer to optimize your schedule? Maximize flexibility for clients and shows openings throughout the day, so it's just going to show whatever's available. Minimize gaps only shows openings near other appointments, so it forces them to book appointments close to each other. And then we have minimize gaps, but only for appointments booked within so many days. So if you really need your appointments close together, this feature is good. But if you want your clients to have a lot of openings to choose from, I would suggest the first one. Maximize flexibility and show openings throughout the day. Who do you allow to book online? Most people say anyone. Unless you only have a select few, you can say only existing clients with an email or phone number in my records, and that would be in the client tab if you want to enter everybody in there. Or only those that use a secret code, and you can put that code in here. Do you want Full Slate to verify the client's email address before accepting an appointment? I usually suggest no on this one. because it sends them an email and they have to go click on a link in their email in order to finish booking. So it's an extra step. So if you can get away with it, I would say no here. But if you really do need to verify their email address, we do have that option. Do you want to limit total appointment time per provider in a given day? An example of this is, let's say you're open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., but you don't necessarily want to be with clients for 12 hours straight. Then you can say, well, after 6 hours of service, I don't want to show any more start times. So then after 6 hours of appointments have been booked, even if you have available time, it won't show up. And then you can make exceptions. You can say, well, don't count this one. There's also an option all the way down at the bottom here, no limit, but allow per provider limits. Then you can go back to the staff section and set those limits for each provider. When a client books an appointment and does not indicate staff preference, you can either randomly assign an employee with availability or assign the first employee on the list with availability. The list that we're talking about here is back in the staff section. Go ahead and save that. Back in the staff section, you can click and drag your staff members into a different order. So let's go to the next one over appointment times. Appointment times just has to do with the start times of the appointments. I usually suggest the first one, especially if you're doing setup and cleanup time. Let Full Slate calculate start times automatically. It's going to calculate the start times based on your availability and the duration of the service they chose. So let's say you're open at 8 and they chose an hour-long appointment with a 30-minute cleanup. The first appointment would be 8 and the second appointment would be 9:30. So it just automatically calculates that for you. And it's going to evenly file those in your schedule so you don't have any extra gaps or anything. The other choices, start every 15 minutes, every half an hour, every hour. It's going to put a start time either every 15 minutes or every half hour or every hour. So it's going to give them more start times to choose from. But once they choose that start time, it still has to block out the correct amount of time, and it could create extra gaps. But these options are here mainly if you want to just give your clients more start times to choose from. And then we have manually enter fixed start times. So if you have specific times that you want them to start and you already know what those are, you can click edit times. Looks like I've already added a few in here. And you just add one time at a time. So let's say I want to do a 12 p.m. and I choose the days of the week that's for, Monday through Friday. And then I click add times, it adds it over here. So you can do your own start times if you want. And then we have add overrides. This is for if you have a different rule for a certain service. Let's say maybe this service, I want to start services every half hour. You just have a different rule for that service if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and just leave everything at let Full Slate calculate start times automatic. So that one's my favorite. So let's go ahead and go to the next one over, client payments. So you can have clients pay at the time of booking. There's 3 card processors to choose from. There's a couple versions of Authorize.net and PayPal and Stripe. You'd have to go to their website to sign up if you want to do Authorize.net or PayPal. With Stripe, you can actually sign up right here from Full Slate, and it will connect you. Go ahead and choose one. Chose PayPal, put my PayPal email address in here. Collect payment or card at the time of booking. I can make it optional or required, or even required for new clients. The system thinks that anyone that's not in the client tab is a new client, just to let you know. And when required, what should they be charged at the time of booking? There's nothing, just keep card on file. If you choose this option, it does not work for PayPal, unfortunately. It only works for Authorize.net CIM and Stripe. So you will need to sign up with one of those if you want to do the card on file option. Or you can do a deposit, 100%, not 100%, but percentage or a dollar amount. And then full amount. And then you can also accept tips when clients pay in full. There's also an override here. So let's say maybe for a certain service you want a different rule. Maybe for that service I just want a deposit of $50. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that. And we'll go to the next one over, gifts and packages. So gifts and packages is an extra feature. It's $5 extra a month, but you get a 30-day free trial. And any gift certificate or package that was purchased, even if you decide to cancel, will still be redeemable, just to let you know. So I've already added a couple in here. I'll just click on each one. So the gift certificate, I can say it was for a 1-hour massage, and then I say what the price is. And then you can do a redemption value. So if you want to give them a little discount, the redemption value can be different. Mine's going to be the same this time. You can decide when you want it to expire. Overview and details, just like in the services, you get a place for a description. And the terms are actually going to be listed on the gift certificate or package itself. And the package is where you can do 5. This one is 5 for a certain price. So it's a good way to give the client a little discount for buying so many visits up front. So when they purchase these, they're going to get a redemption code, and when they go to book their appointment, they can use that code. And you're going to be able to keep track in the sales tab when they use their code or not. You can also, if you click on that gift certificate, or you can find it by their name, you can come in here and decrease it. So maybe they didn't use their code online. You can still come in here and decrease it. You can even come in here and add one yourself. Let's say they give you money in person. You can come in here and add one and select from your products and put in their name and their email. And this would be who it's to. And you can even put your own code in when you're doing it internally. And go ahead and say OK. It pops up for you to print out, so you can go ahead and print that out and hand it to them. As far as the packages go, you can decrease those by 1 if they come in and they don't give the code online. So let's finish up in the Setup tab. The last option here we have is the QuickBooks Sync. So you can sync client contact information with your clients in QuickBooks. It doesn't do any financial information at this time, but that is something we are working on, so stay tuned. So you just click here to connect to QuickBooks. So let's go ahead and go to the next thing here, the Schedule tab. In the Schedule tab, everything that's white is available and everything that's gray is unavailable. So right now it's telling me the hours are 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And if you look over here to the left, you'll see I have my different schedules. And right now I'm looking at the main location schedule. It's checked. So let's say I want to change the hours. Let's say I don't want to be available on Monday for the main location. Then I would just click Edit Hours. The slider comes down at the top and says available or unavailable. I want to say unavailable because I want to make it unavailable. And the recurs is going to be every week. And I don't want to check the through box. I want it to just be through infinity. So I'm going to click and drag this area that I want to block off and then go up and save it. And now it's grayed out. So now clients cannot book there. But if I look at my other location, it's going to show me both locations in columns. When I'm setting the hours, I like to get the other one out of the way. So now I'm looking at location 2. So when you're setting your hours, to me it's easier to just check one at a time so I don't get confused. Let's say for this location, I want to be available on Monday but not the other days. I can click Edit Hours, Unavailable. You can even click and drag to the right and then down if you want to swipe across the whole week. It turns yellow, you go up and save it. Now I can look at both of my schedules at once. It looks a little better to understand. So this location I'm available, this one I'm not. And I can see now that I'm not going to get double booked. So since we're just going to work with one schedule just so it's a little easier for you to understand. So I have some existing appointments in here. I can click on them to modify them or see more information about them. I can see who booked it. And then click on this one. I can look at the details, client details, if I want to put in more information about them. And I can easily jump back using the scheduled tab. I also put a personal event in here. So let me show you how to do that. If you want to add an appointment in there, you want to see your available start times, I like to use the add button. Let's say somebody calls in for a massage, 1 hour massage. I can choose that service and it tells me all the available start times with my 30-minute cleanup in between. So I can say, well, on Tuesday I have a 8 o'clock, I have a 9:30, 11. And they say, well, I'll take the 11 o'clock on Tuesday. So I click on 11 o'clock and then I put in their name. If it's somebody that was in my client tab already, they're going to automatically populate and I can click on them. If not, I can fill them out and I can hit the new button to put in more information about them. Email, phone number, address, any of that information that you want to put. Once you save it, it brings you back to the schedule tab to finish saving the appointment. So I'm going to go ahead and save the appointment and it's going to tell me that I can send a confirmation email out to that person. If you don't want to send it, you can uncheck this box. But I do want to send it, so I'm going to say OK. And now my appointment's in there. If I want to do a personal event, you can just click on the calendar. If you just click on it one time, it gives you an hour block. Or if you click and drag it, it gives you a longer block. Let's say I want to go 10 to 2 on Thursday. It thinks I'm making an appointment. I can go ahead and do an appointment if I wanted to, or I can go up to the top here and say personal, and then whatever is going on that day, I can save it. And this will block out time. It also helps you just know what you're doing that day. Clients are not going to see this. They only see available start times. So this is just for your information. And then let's say I want to put a class in 9 o'clock on Friday. I click on the calendar and I just go up to the top and hit class. I only have one class in there, so it defaults to that one. And then I save it. And now clients can book that class. Up to 10 people. So over here, let's do another edit hours. So if we do edit hours, let's say I want to add Saturdays. Click edit hours. This time we want to say available. And let's say I just want to do it once on the 24th. Maybe from 8 to noon. So I just click and drag from 8 to noon. It turns yellow. And then I go ahead and save it. So that was just that one time. If I arrow to the next week, it's not open. So there's a lot of flexibility on where exactly you put your available time. It can be very specific using that edit hours button. And there's even a through box. So say you want to do every week through, but maybe you don't want to do it through infinity. Maybe you want to do it through May 1st and then change it. So lots of options there. Also here in the schedule tab, there's the more button where you can see the full screen. You can print. Hide client names. That's for if somebody's peering over your shoulder when you're in your account. But other than that, they're not going to be able to see other people's names when they're looking on your booking form. Zoom puts everything in 5-minute increments. Right now, every sliver of time here is 15 minutes, but you can zoom it out if you want. It's good for people that have services that are shorter duration, like 20 minutes or less. You're going to want to zoom it. Hide empty columns is where you can hide the columns that don't have any availability or appointments in them. And then we have sync, import, export. You can sync with calendars like Google. We have a two-way sync with Google. Or you can sync your appointments to your iCal or your Outlook. And you can also export appointments to a spreadsheet. And if you're coming from another scheduler, we can even import your appointments if you can export them to a spreadsheet from your current scheduler, we can try and import them for you. So if you do have that situation, please feel free to contact me. My email address is support@fullslate.com. Attention Kelly. And then you can just send that over and I'll try and import it for you. And then there's color coding. If you like to color code by service or provider, you can color code. So let's go ahead and go to the Clients tab. You can add new clients in here. You can look at your list of clients. You can select all or some and send out an email if you'd like. I mentioned that opt-in only. You can separate out the ones that have opted in only and then send out your email if you choose to do that way. You can import clients and you can export them to a spreadsheet. And then we have reviews. If you uncheck by invitation only, then it will leave a spot on your landing page for clients to leave you a review. Once they've left you a review, you'll click on here and you'll click the publish box and save it if you want to publish it. So we do have publish automatically, but I would not recommend that. I would probably like to read my reviews first before I publish them. We already went over the sales tabs. Let's go ahead and go to messages. This is the history is a running list of all the messages that have gone out of the system. You can click on each one to see what they said. They're also going to show up in the Clients tab. For each individual client, there's a section over on the right that tells you their appointments and their message history. So let's go ahead and go to templates. And we'll click on the second one on list, the appointment confirmation. Everything in brackets will automatically fill in, like their name and the day and the time of the appointment. I added this prior, but this is, you can add your own information in here also. You can just type in anything else you want to put in this email. I would just leave everything that's in brackets, especially the day and the time of the appointment and their name. So that'll fill in automatically. Alerts, we already did this in the staff section, but there's a couple down here at the bottom that are not mentioned in there. When they write a review, do you want to be notified? When they purchase a gift certificate, do you want to be notified? Your questions at the time of booking, do you want those in your alert email? And if they cancel, do you want to include the message in the cancellation alert? And we'll go ahead and go to automatic messages. There's already an appointment reminder in there. That's an email that goes out one day prior to each appointment. The template is called appointment reminder, and it's also listed in templates if you want to modify it. So you can decide when you want that to go out. And there's a class reminder also. We also have text reminder to their phone. You would just click add message, choose appointment reminder. It puts another box at the bottom here. We changed the template. Got to scroll almost all the way to the bottom to see it. SMS text message. The template for that is actually right here in the box. So the placeholders, you want to leave those there. It goes out one day prior, but you can change that. There's other types of automatic messages you can send out. You just click add message for each one. Like there's a follow-up that goes out after the appointment. Connect with past clients. People that haven't come in a while could get one. And there's a birthday greeting or offer. Let's go ahead and add birthday greeting. You can decide when you want that to go out, maybe the day before. The template's called Happy Birthday. It's listed in templates if you want to change that, maybe give them a discount or something for their birthday. So once I've added all my messages, I go up to the top and save it. The next section is the reports section. You can narrow your reports down by certain services or if they booked online or offline. So once you get more appointments in here, you'll be able to analyze that. Now let's go to the web tab. So this is putting it all together. Right now we're looking at our landing page. So this is the page the clients go to book the appointment with you. I do have the multiple locations. So the first thing they're going to do is choose a location, choose a service, and it's going to tell me when my next available time is, and then choose a time. and I'll fill out all my information here and schedule the appointment. So this is how the landing page looks right now. I can go to look and feel and I can change how it looks if you want to play around with that and do different types of font, colors, all that stuff you can change if you want. So we have buttons. If you want to put a schedule appointment button on your website, you can change the size and the color. Once you get it the size and color you want, you just click on the box one time, copy it, and paste it into your website. Or you can just email it to your web person. So if you do use the schedule appointment button, that's going to go to your landing page. The widget is where it puts your appointments directly embedded in your website. So they're not going to go to the landing page, they're going to book this directly from your website. Same idea, but it's within your website. So the one we're looking at right now is the iframe. I like to make the width and height bigger so it accommodates for this calendar. Same idea, you just copy that code, paste it in your website. I usually suggest a dedicated page to online scheduling so it doesn't get lost with everything else. The iframe really is like, it's framed so it looks a little easier to find. But the one that I usually suggest is the JavaScript because it inherits the style of your website and automatically adjusts size based on content. You click on that, copy it, and paste it in your website. I do have an example of a website where I did use JavaScript, and so you'll see that it kind of inherits the style of this website. So when I click on the service and choose a time, fill in my information, it's all done within the website. And I also made a widget for the packages and gift certificates so they can purchase those directly from the website. And to do that, we just change our widget type to gift certificates and packages, and there you have that code. And Facebook, you can add the scheduler to your business's Facebook page. You just click here to add Full Slate to your business Facebook page and follow the prompts. So that's everything to get you started. If you need more help though, please contact me. My email is support@fullslate.com. Attention Kelly. I'd be happy to help you get up and running because sometimes it's easier to talk to somebody. So please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope it helped you, and have a great rest of your day.